Over time, our mission making has changed a lot. It used to be pretty simple. Nowadays, it's evolved into really like as perfectly real as we can get it while still being fun. So we use him a lot to help us really just make our missions as realistic as possible. And nowadays we do maybe like 6 to 8 months long operations where we fight in a realistic scenario, and yeah, yeah. So we try to make it as realistic as possible.
Put the realism in realism unit. And definitely, I mean, I was there. I can testify to it. Realism is a priority, and I can't remember a mission that I didn't have fun in. Definitely, there were some challenging days, some really, really tough objectives, and some obstacles to overcome. But when it was all said and done, it was a blast. So,
And I
uh,
do say to add on to what Captain Tucci was saying with, it's a large process, and Brock, I know you know that process because your time with us, you did a lot of that. You've planned
so,
operations and that, and we do it for such a long time frame to where you got a whole, we plan a whole year's worth of events, every single weekend, 52 weekends, to 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 have a combat operation, the whole campaign thought out, the pre-mobilization, the FTX phase, and all that, to be brought into it. I think that's pretty unique. I've heard of units out there that do 2-week operation campaigns, and then they're doing multiple. Great, but now you got to think like the whole work that yourself, Captain Tucci was heavily involved for, it still is, and then obviously Lieutenant Vandal, that it you literally have writer's block sometimes trying to think of, okay, what can I do with
hmm.
this to keep it realistic, right? We're not going to be fighting Russia and China direct on, because that's not where the US does. We have diplomatic ties, and but we are fighting, you know insurgent components supplied by, and thinking of like all those different one-off terrorist groups that attack, and and just to be able to go somewhere in the world for a campaign. We've been, what, Africa, we've been obviously Middle East a ton of times, we've been to to borders of Ukraine and Finland and all that, um and running out of areas. After 21 years, we're running out of areas.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to look to the Pentagon for some more inspiration.
Yeah,
Keeping
it's
it
us.
real, but come what may.